I paid $100 for what is inside of this package over 3 years ago. And to my absolute surprise, it showed up at my doorstep just in time for us to test it out today. This is magic ink. Hold on, can you see it? This is magic ink. It's absolutely teeny tiny. Today we are putting Bang Bang's magic ink to the test. I'm gonna be tattooing myself with this today so that we can find out, number one, why does everyone think that this ink is a scam? Number two, what makes this so magical? And number three, is it worth the high price tag?
Have you guys heard of magical disappearing ink before?
Yes, it is a little gimmicky, and this is not going to be for everybody.
Ephemeral called, they want their failed idea back.
I can say magic ink has to be the safest tattoo ink that's out there.
Okay, so while I get set up to tattoo myself, I'm gonna fill you guys in on the details of this magic ink, because everything surrounding it is also equally as weird as the ink itself. But if you want to get straight into the tattooing, I will have chapters listed below so you can skip around if you prefer to do that. And I do need to say that I do not recommend you tattoo yourself at home with mystery ink. So don't do that. Instead, you can just watch me do that. Here's to hoping that it's not poison. All the way back in July of 2022, celebrity tattoo artist Keith McCurdy, better known as Bang Bang, announced that he had developed this ink, and this is apparently supposed to revolutionize the tattoo industry as we know it. So the ink came in this strange circle presentation, and it must have just been like really stuck in here, or they just used like the craziest glue, because most of it is still stuck to the back of this ink. But when I was taking this off, I have some key information that this is single use only. This bottle of $100 2 milliliter ink can only be used once. And I could only find that out when I took all of the paper off of this ink. So this just got a lot more expensive, and I'll give you a size reference on how absolutely minuscule this amount of ink is. I recently bought this ink. So this is Dynamics Sunflower Yellow. This is a part of their Platinum collection that they actually refer to as their premium tattoo ink. I paid $11.99 for this ink, and I can use it until it expires over a year from now. Whereas this tiny little bottle of magic ink is a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of the size. It's kind of hard to figure out how to hold these together. Just looking at these size comparisons and considering this is single use, I can't recommend that you buy this just based on that. So if you're unfamiliar with who Bang Bang is, he tattooed Rihanna before she popped off, and he tattooed Justin Bieber while they were on a plane. So while Bang Bang is well known for his celebrity clientele, he's not as much known for his integrity. And a lot of people think that this magic ink thing is just a big scam. Honestly, I was inclined to also believe that, having not received my order for over 3 years. But it did arrive, so we are giving magic ink a fair shot today. In this teeny, 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 absolutely miniature, you can't even barely see it, speck of grain ink, looks a lot better on the Magic Ink website, so let's head over there. Bang Bang and his team claim that magic ink is the world's first rewritable tattoo ink. And when I think of the word rewritable, I think of something like chalk or whiteboard pens, something you can write, easily take away, and then write again as many times as you need to. In fact, on the website, they even have a quote here from CNN, and it says, "Future tattoos may be as customizable and non-committal as a classroom whiteboard." Considering how many people now regret tattoos, a tattoo that you could change once it's already in your skin would be a massive deal if that were the case. So I wanted to see who from CNN would make such a crazy claim that tattoos may be as customizable as a whiteboard one day. And I clicked on this article only to find out that this quote does not exist. I don't know if the Magic Ink team just simply made it up, but CNN did not say this. This quote does not exist. I have read through this article multiple times, and there is no mention of any classroom whiteboard at all. So this is our first of many. Red flags. Red flag number 1, Magic Ink lied about a CNN quote. These 2 other quotes from High Snobiety and GQ are legitimate quotes from those publications, but let's focus on the People magazine quote. People magazine is quoted here saying, Magic Ink, at the forefront of modern tattooing, may just be the safest ink out there. Similarly, if a huge magazine like People magazine is saying that this may be the safest ink out there, that's like a huge credibility for your product. If People magazine said that. But I feel like you know where I'm going. People magazine did not say that about Magic Ink. In fact, this is a quote from Bang Bang himself when he was being interviewed by People magazine. Bang Bang really quoted himself here and pretended like it was People magazine. Yep, red flag number 2. So half of the quotes on this website are fake. I think that they think that we're stupid. So let's move on to what you receive when you order Magic Ink and then wait for many, many years for your product to arrive. So you get this like circle presentation of the Magic Ink. This must just be to protect it while it's transporting, because it does feel like this is kind of flimsy. Like once I take off the plastic wrap, I feel like it's just all gonna flow out of here, but we will see once we get into the tattooing. It also came with this little pamphlet. Pretty basic information, safety precautions, etc. And on the back, we do have an ingredients list. So I can appreciate that they did include an ingredients list, but they actually did not need to. I'm sure many of you know that tattoo ink is absolutely not regulated at all in the United States. They could be putting essentially anything they want on this piece of paper. No one is gonna double check this. So I guess we're just gonna blindly believe the people that already lied to us twice. Along with the ink, you also get these 2 flashlights. I think that they were supposed to come in this bag, but mine were just at the bottom of the mailing container. But they do have this info about the flashlights on this piece of paper that I believe the flashlights were supposed to come in. Like I said, mine didn't come in this little baggie. And I honestly feel like this is where the majority of my money went, because these are really heavy. They feel like really high quality, nice flashlights. One of them is a UV light and the other is a white light. And this says, caution, high intensity UV light. Failure to follow instructions may result in a severe burn. Didn't Bang Bang say it was like low UV?
So Madison will hit this with a really low level UV light, really low level UV light, really low level UV light.
Red flag, red flag. So essentially with a Magic Ink tattoo, this is supposed to heal into your skin completely invisibly. And once it's healed, you can put the UV light on it. That's supposed to activate or turn on the tattoo. And then if you would like the tattoo to be invisible again, you put the white light over it. And all of this works because of a very special color changing pigment. So according to the Hyperskin website, Magic Ink contains photochromic pigments. And this is the same type of material that is in those sunglasses that dim when you're outside and are clear when you are inside. So these pigments are reacting to the change in light, and they are changing because of it. And there's one feature of Magic Ink that makes it very fundamentally different from other tattoo inks, and that is these tiny little spheres. So this is a super magnified version of what the ink looks like in your skin as compared to a typical tattoo ink. So these little circles are made up of PMMA nanoparticles, which are also known as polymer glass, which are also known as plastic. Yes, this is plastic. And I'm gonna tattoo myself with it. It's almost hard to believe that these little plastic spheres are what this is, because it's on such a microscopic scale, it's really hard to understand. But apparently there are a ton of teeny tiny little plastic spheres in here, and the pigment is inside of those spheres. So this is likely, I'm assuming, why the Magic Ink team keeps insisting that this is the safest ink out there, because technically the pigments of the ink isn't really making contact with your skin. It's instead making contact with plastic spheres in your skin. To give the team credit though, PMMA nanoparticles are approved to be used in medical procedures. They're used in filler and stuff like that. So this is approved by the FDA to be put into your skin, but it is something to keep in mind. We already have an incredible amount of microplastic pollution, not only in our bodies, but also in the entire world. So anything that's adding to that, in my opinion, is not a positive thing, even if it may be approved by the FDA. Remember NFTs? If you forgot about them, I'm sorry, I have to bring them back up because Bang Bang initially released this tattoo ink as an NFT. So to jog your memory, 2021 was the height of all things NFTs. And at this time, celebrities were shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to own digital assets. In reality, NFTs are entirely worthless. And they actually never had a worth. You might remember a screenshot of the very first tweet sold as an NFT, and somebody bought it for $2.9 million. That very same screenshot is owned by the same guy, and today is not even worth $30. So why would Bang Bang sell tattoo ink as an NFT? I mean, I can think of one reason, but according to Bang Bang himself, he said that the person who purchases the Magic Ink NFT will, 1, receive the very first rewritable tattoo in the world, and 2, they will have the historical significance of having their name always tied with this huge innovation in tattooing. And all of that sounds really great, until you find out that the website that Magic Ink NFT was supposedly sold on now no longer even exists. So much for historically significant. However, I was able to access this website via the Wayback Machine, which, if you don't know, is a website that has records of older websites on it. So here is what the initial NFT auction website looked like. It's mainly just this graphic. There's that info in the corner, and in the right corner, it says that the winning bid was 0.0 Ethereum. And it does say that this auction is ended at 0.0 Ethereum. And this is weird because in an interview with GQ magazine, the Magic Ink team says that this ink was sold for 100 Ethereum. The actual only current record that we have that this NFT was ever sold is from this GQ article. And it says, Magic Ink debuted via NFT auction, sold for 100 Ethereum, which was roughly 164,000. The highest bidder is the owner of the world's first rewritable tattoo. So that is actually incredibly vague. And this dollar amount is missing a 0. Overall, this is looking very suspicious because either the NFT never sold, Bang Bang pretended that it did sell, which, I mean, he's pretended a lot of other things, or someone did pay them over 100 grand for this NFT and there's no record of it. And honestly, all of those scenarios are bad ones. So Magic Ink is gonna get another red flag for this. And on top of all of that, the very first person to reportedly have received a rewritable tattoo, aside from Bang Bang, is Carson Bruns. And this is the co-owner of Magic Ink. So I don't know if he bought it, but there's something weird going on regardless. So with all of that absolutely horrifying information out of the way, we still are going to tattoo me with it. And I know I said I was supposed to be getting set up. I have not, but I will. And this is what we are tattooing today. We're gonna do all of these stars across my forehead. No, I am just going to put one of these stars on my arm. Okay, so I have the stencil on, you can see it right there. This is one of those twisty areas, so it's gonna look weird when I show it to you, but like this, it is straight up and down. Okay, I'm going to open up the ink and we will see what's in there. It smells like chemical-y, not anything crazy. Okay, so it filled up about 1 ink cap. Let's actually see how many ink caps we can fill. These are the small ink caps, to be fair. All right, going for number 2. Oops. Okay. Let's try one more. So that is all of the ink that I could get out of here. So all we got out of our $100 bottle of ink was 2 full small ink caps. For one tattoo, this amount of ink is more than enough, but obviously you can't use it for more than one tattoo on one person. Some of you are curious as to what machine I use. This is the Masked Archer. Dragonhawk actually sent this to me. This machine is around $200 and I think it's a great beginner's machine. I'm using it while I save up for the Bishop wand. Honestly, I'm kind of nervous. I haven't tattooed myself in a while. And I've never tattooed my own arm. I've only tattooed my legs. Since I can't use my right hand, since I can't use my left hand as my stretching hand, I'm putting tape on my skin so that the tape can kind of stretch my skin for me. So there you can see my skin is pretty tight. The Magic Ink team also linked me this video that I have reviewed with all of the tips and guides on how to use this ink. So I am giving this a very fair shot. Let's get into the tattooing. The ink is in my machine, looks exactly like any other type of ink. All right. Okay. All right, our first line is in there. It looks honestly really good and very straight, if I do say so myself. So I'm gonna continue on. Bang Bang did say that while tattooing, the ink can start to disappear. So you just kind of have to like trust what you've done. So I'm trying to trust. As I go, it is kind of difficult to tell if the line is saturated because it appears so different, like moment to moment. Like I'll tattoo it and it'll look like a solid line, and then I'll look and it's like not there anymore. So that's like kind of weird. As you can see, it's really hard to tell what ink is in my skin and what is not. It is very difficult to see where you have applied the ink. If I was tattooing this on a client, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I am still gonna fill the center a tiny bit. So as you can see, it is very hard to see if it is saturated, but there definitely is something there. I mean, some ink has probably landed within my skin. So I think we are all done for the tattooing portion. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, it just kind of looks like I tattooed with no ink. I'm gonna put some derm shield over this and then completely heal it to the best of my abilities. The Magic Ink team was very clear to say that you cannot put these flashlights on the tattoo until the tattoo is fully healed. So in a few seconds for you, but in 2 weeks for me, I will be right back and we're gonna test out if this tattoo can activate and deactivate. All right, we're back. It's been just about 2 weeks, so it's finally time to test out our Magic Ink tattoo. So here is my Magic Ink tattoo. As you can see, it healed pretty invisibly under my skin. You wouldn't know anything was there unless you really, really looked. Now I'm going to activate this with the UV light. So as you can see, the Magic Ink tattoo is really barely there. I mean, not much of it is actually saturated at all. You can see kind of a general outline of the star if you really look closely. So as you can tell, the results of our star tattoo are honestly a complete failure. Clearly I had trouble saturating this tattoo, as you guys saw when I was doing it. Luckily for us though, I did do 2 more Magic Ink tattoos on myself off camera. So we also have those to check out and see if they work with these flashlights too. So here is our next Magic Ink tattoo. It is in this general vicinity. I actually don't know exactly where I put it because it is pretty invisible. And there you can see the saturation on this one is a lot better. I used a lot bigger of a needle for this. So with this one, since it healed much better than our star, we're gonna test it out with the white light to see if it disappears again. So the lights definitely do what the Magic Ink team says they will do. One of them activates the ink and makes it show up. The other makes it disappear. And honestly, it is fun to make your ink reappear and disappear within your skin. The next Magic Ink tattoo I put on my ankle. This is what I call my graveyard. There's even a bad word here that I'll have to cover up. But I did put a smiley face somewhere in this general vicinity. So let's see if it'll show up. So there's our little upside down smiley face. Clearly this one also had some saturation issues, but it might be my favorite. So these are my 3 Magic Ink tattoos. Pretty inconsistent results across the board. Like I said, my saturation issues are not on the Magic Ink team. But clearly this ink is very difficult to work with. I mean, the Magic Ink team definitely knows this. Bang Bang's entire leg was almost covered in tests of this ink. So I would not say that this is beginner friendly by any means. And it's not really something that most people can feasibly test to actually use on clients. If you were going to use this on clients, you would have to do much more than just one test on yourself. And to buy more and more Magic Ink, I can't imagine that that's feasible for anyone, except for maybe Bang Bang himself. And I didn't mention this before, but the price of the ink is $100, but they also charge you $30 for shipping every time. So it really does not feel like they actually want people to buy this to really use it, especially considering how little ink you get and that it's only single use. I feel like that's why it's so gimmicky and it feels so scammy, because there's really not a use case for this. Aside from someone just testing it out, it's not worth it. And I really would not call this ink rewritable. The Magic Ink team claims that you should be able to completely get the Magic Ink out of your skin and put a whole new Magic Ink tattoo on top of it. However, they have not given me any details on how to get the Magic Ink out of your skin in order to rewrite something else on top of it. I have emailed Magic Ink, I have left them voicemails. No one will tell me about any sort of rewritability. So I really think that that word is a stretch. How they're using it is that your tattoo is written and then it disappears and then it's written again when it appears. And I think that that's kind of like their loophole with that word. But truly, I don't believe that that describes this ink. And I do want to recap our red flags. So we had number 1, they lied about that CNN quote. Number 2, they lied about that People magazine quote. 3 was that Bang Bang said the UV light was low level, and what actually came was a high intensity UV light that can burn you. Number 4, it's plastic. Number 5 is just the NFT of it all. I'm giving them another red flag for charging $30 for shipping and $100 for their tiny ink. And I'm giving them another red flag, I think this is number 7. In all their years of research, they still have yet to show this ink on darker skin tones. So those are the Magic Ink red flags. That's what you're getting with your ink. And what I've gathered from my research into Magic Ink is that it seems to be more of the brainchild of that scientist we talked about earlier. He and his team have been developing these kind of biotech tattoos for years and years before Bang Bang came into the picture. It feels like one of those situations where these scientists needed maybe someone with a lot of followers in order to put their face on this product in order to cash a check. And Bang Bang may have been that perfect person, because Bang Bang's actually forgotten all about Magic Ink and he's on to his next scammy tattoo gimmick. Bang Bang has put an AI robot tattoo machine into his studio so that that will tattoo people for him. If we didn't need another reason not to give this man any more of your money, now we have the final nail in the coffin. This feels like something someone would do that sees the end of tattooing coming and is just trying to squeeze as much money out of the industry as they possibly can. That's what it feels like to me. I really can't recommend that anyone invest any amount of your money into this product or this person. Honestly, I'm really disappointed with tattooers that are embracing AI. I'm honestly really worried about the industry and where it's going. And for someone like Bang Bang, that just doesn't seem to be on his radar, unfortunately. So with all of that being said, I would love to know what you all think about the entire Magic Ink situation. Let me know what you think about the NFT. Let me know what you think about the results from today. Would this be something that you would try if it weren't $130 to order? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you've made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much just for sticking around and watching my content if you've seen any of my content, or if this is the first video. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. And if you've made it all the way to the end, I really, really appreciate you. Leave me this emoji in the comments down below so that I know that you are a real one. Bye, everyone.